What's up, Spartans? This is JAG, aka Leonidas, coming to you live from 300. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you an amazing Arena 5 Hog deck. Now, whether you're new to the channel or you've come to this video from my other Arena 5 deck, I'm going to show you how to use this deck and how to win consistently with it. A couple things before we start. One, this deck may or may not work for you. I tried this deck 2 times, pushing from 1300 trophies to Arena 6, so right at the beginning of Arena 5, and I went undefeated, winning 18 matches to 0 losses. Just to show a quick example here of a little bit actually proof of that. As you can see, this was just the first set, and then I had to push down, so I went to essentially 9-0 on this thing here, as we can see. So I'll explain the deck a little later. And getting back into it, number 2, you're going to want all your card levels to be around level 7 to level 8 range, and your King Tower to be around level 6 to level 7 range to stand a chance. You notice that I was a level 7 King Tower with level 6 cards, and I purposely made my card levels lower to show that this deck does work even for weaker levels. Number 3, you'll notice my current arena shows that I'm Arena 5. I did that so I can make different types of decks for each arena level, as Trophy Road won't let you drop arenas anymore, so I had to stop at 1 win prior to Arena 6. So, alright, so I have 3 videos to show you today. The first replay is going to show a full gameplay and how to use this deck and how to counter cards like the Golem and Pekka. The other 3 replays are going to show you how to counter specific cards, which will help you get better. If you have any questions on how to use or face different cards, pop them in the comments below, and I'll be answering them as quickly as possible. So let's begin, and let's actually go to the current deck here. And let's pop up these replays as well. Alright. Come on, computer. Where are you? There we go. So, let's pop this up. Okay. So, here's the deck. I will pin this deck in the comments down below, along with what cards you can replace each with. You'll see the Hog is about your only win condition in this deck, but that's really all you need. The average elixir is 3.4, giving you a decent cycle. And you can see the rest of the cards here, like the cannon, the minions, the skeleton army, the poison, the Barb Barrel, mini Pekka, and Musketeer. I will be putting also in the comments down below what you can replace each of these cards with. So don't worry about that. If you don't have one of these, you can check the comment that I'm going to pin, and you'll be able to replace it. So for the Barb Barrel, your goal with that is going to be using it against the Goblin Barrel, kind of spam troops like the Skeleton Army, kind of protect against that. Minion Horde Poison's going to be great to counter that. You can use it again also against spam troops, especially if you want to drop the Hog down. You notice they drop Skeleton Army. If you're able to get that Poison quick enough, you're actually going to be able to then kill off anything and protect the Hog. Cannon's going to be great for dragging over your Giants, your Golems, Pekkas, pretty much anything, even the Prince. Your Minions and your Musketeer are going to be used against your aerial threats. Use the Musketeer if you can against the Baby Dragon. And then the Mini Pekka is also going to just provide a defense where it's going to pack a bit of a punch and take those high health cards like your Giant down very quickly. Alright, so let's begin the replay, and you'll kind of see what I mean. So let's get into this first one here. So this was actually one of my latest matches, one of the N1s. You can see we're both at level 7 Crown Tower, but I'm going to be actually a little bit less on strength of cards. They had a pretty high average elixir deck, which you're going to notice because, I mean, they're packing all the power cards, like your Golem, your Wizard. They're packing the Giant Skeleton. They have the Pekka, I think, in there too, Lightning. So it's a pretty high average elixir deck. I do not suggest using a deck like that. You're not going to be able to counter very effectively, and you're going to see they're not going to be able to really back it up. So, like I said before, use the cannon, drag over those strong cards, and then something like the Giant Skeleton, you're going to use the Mini Pekka in. Just make sure you drop them on the side closer to their tower, because then what's going to happen is you're going to at least be able to avoid the Giant Bomb and maybe get a hit on the tower like I did with that Mini Pekka. So you're going to drop the Hog, and the Hog's going to be great for either counter pushing on opposite sides. So if you counter on one side, you can do that, or you can after you've countered, you can push the same lane. It's really going to depend on how you swing it. You're going to notice that I drop the... Actually, I'm going to pause this here because this is exactly what I wanted to mention. You're going to notice that in the middle here, there's about 2 tiles. And if you drop just slightly to the right of the middle tile, where I put the Musketeer exactly, you're going to be able to have the Musketeer hit the other side of the lane. And like you can see there where the Musketeer is actually attacking the Valk. And what's going to happen is you're going to see the Musketeer push to the right side of the lane. And this is a great way to apply defensive pressure and then actually counter push an opposite lane, which then means if they're going to actually push on the opposite side, then ideally, if you set it up, they're going to be attacking the wrong tower that they've already attacked earlier, and it's really going to end up with you getting more wins. This is kind of like a little bit of an advanced tip with a Musketeer, but really try and get good with this and practice, because this is going to be a huge advantage for this deck if you can start to get it. So let's continue on from here. So as you can see here, Musketeers working, whittling away at the Valk. I can just drop the cannon there, and now the hog goes down, that level 8 hog against my level 6 Musketeer. I really didn't have to drop too much elixir. I came out with a positive there. So I knew that I was a little bit advanced, dropped the minions, just apply a bit of a pressure, didn't overcommit too much, and as you can see, the tower goes down with quite a bit here. So now you're again going to see the Pekka. This is going to be great when you have the skeleton army. Use this against the Pekka, the mini Pekka. You can use it against the Prince. Just be careful because they might have a zap or a poison, so you're really going to want to watch that and remember if they do have one of those cards. And again, in this case, I want to drop the hog on the same side because then I could apply a counter pressure. For the poison, you're going to want to use it on stuff like the minion horde, maybe spam troops. Try and always get something where you're going to get an equal elixir exchange. So you're going to want something where it's 4 elixir as well. In this case, I used it on the tower and on the Barb hut there, because the Barb hut is going to be more expensive than the actual poison. I was able to get more positive trade for that, so keep that in mind. Here I'm just going to play defensive. I know I already got that tower, might try and counter push at one point. In this case, I want to just kind of drop the Musketeer in the back, gather some elixir. You can see again, like I said, put that mini Pekka on the side closer to their enemy tower so that that bomb doesn't kill it, and then maybe you can go and get an extra hit on the tower or something like that. That hog in the counter lane, you're going to use that probably pretty often. We're going to counter push the other lane, so you're going to defend on one side, maybe drop the hog on the other side and counter push, so you can get a lot of damage, especially if they overcommit. You can get that hog, and if it doesn't have anything that's going to be attacking it or defending, you're going to be able to get a lot of damage on that. Like I said, for the Pekka, Golem, Giant, etc., use that cannon, drag it over to the middle, and use that Musketeer effectively to just kind of keep attacking it. And if you have that mini Pekka and cycle, use it as well to take out the high damage troop, and you're really going to get a nice counter push in that case too. And here, like I did, it's just going to finish it off and then go from there. So the next two replays, what I'm going to show you is actually how to counter other specific cards as well, like Goblin Barrel, things like that, and kind of that way you can get a little bit more of different types of decks and how you're going to be using it. But this really shows how to use the deck. It's kind of repetitive, where you're going to be using just dropping the hog as much as you can, pretty much. Be wary of what cards they have and use the poison if you need to, especially if you can kind of counter it, like I said, with the Musketeer on one side and it counter pushes on the other lane. So let's get into the second one, which is actually going to show how to kind of protect against the Goblin Barrel and the Wall Breakers as well, because especially with a buff in the most recent upcoming update, it's going to make a bit of a difference, so you'll probably see them used a little bit more. So in this case, I'm just going to show probably about 30 seconds to a minute of this gameplay footage, and it'll at least give a solid enough like picture of what you can do to protect against these. So I think we actually kind of just wait for each other in the beginning, and then I think I drop the hog just because I'm tired of waiting. So let's speed through this a bit, and there we go. So let's put that back at full speed. So here, I'm not going to use the poison. Don't use it on Spear Goblins. It's useless. You're going to lose 2 elixir, and they're going to really be able to counter push you if you need to at that point. Here, I just use the Barb Barrel, get that out. We'll see if they have the Goblin Barrel later on. For the Wall Breakers, you're going to see me drop the cannon there. They're going to go for defenses or the tower. This is going to be great. You can drop those, that cannon protects really well against the Wall Breakers, and then if you have something backing up like the Musketeer, you're going to get a little bit of damage as well. Here, unfortunately, I did not have the Barb Barrel in cycle. You're going to want to use the Barb Barrel to stop the Goblin Barrel, but in this case, the minions do work well, or the Skeleton Armies does work as well, which means you can use either of those cards to really push and help protect against the Goblin Barrel at that case. So here, you're going to see the hog. That's actually one tool. I'm just going to pause this for a second. You're going to see me drop the Skeleton Army, and unfortunately it's going to have the dragon switch off of the hog onto the Skeleton Army. But using that hog, if you actually see, that's a great tip to actually drag the baby dragon over, where you can actually don't even have to attack it. The towers will essentially take it out, and you're going to be able to potentially get a hit on the other tower or force them to drop another card. So keep that in mind. That's something you can do with the hog. So here we're going to see the Skeleton Army that's going to protect against those Wall Breakers. That works as well, and that's why I dropped them there. And in that case, then we're actually probably going to end that here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so let's go into the third replay here. That's enough for you to see a little bit on how you can counter wall breakers and a couple of the other cards. And finally, we're going to go to replay 3, which is right here. And again, this is going to be like a quick replay just so you can kind of get an idea of how to use this better, this deck as well for this arena. And hopefully that way you can push up pretty easily to the next arena in Arena 6. So let's kind of speed through so the first card gets dropped and then go from there. There we go. Okay, so one thing you can do when you have the hog in your beginning is you can either drop it if you want to test the field, see what cards they have on their side and what they counter with, or wait for them to see what move they make. And if they drop something at the back, like say Musketeer, Valk, pretty much anything, drop the hog on the other side, on the opposite lane, push, because then what's going to happen is it's going to force them to drop another card to stop that hog, which you're going to see here. And now at least then you're forcing them to split their attack up, and it makes it a lot easier to defend. So in this case, they do that. I'm going to drop the poison. Works really well against the minion horde. And as you can see with that case, then we drop the Barb Barrel, like I said before, stops the Goblin Barrel pretty easily, and you come out with a positive elixir trade in both. So actually with that, I got 2 elixir trade. And that's really what you want to try and do with the deck. From here, we're actually just going to call it quits, and hopefully that helps, and that's really going to be the end of this. That's going to be it. Before I sign off, I just want to know what's your favorite card, and if you need a deck, what card deck do you want me to make, and let me know for which arena so I can hopefully help you guys. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you in the next video. This is going to be JAG, aka Leonidas, signing off. Peace out.